Hi, it's John Glynn. I'm going to be looking at another of the selection tools today. This is Photoshop Elements 20 and I'm using a PC, and we have a quick selection tool which is already up in the toolbox by the lasso tool and gives us a number of selections at the bottom of underneath your picture, where you have choices as to what type of selection tool to use. And this one we're going to look at is the Refine Selection brush. Now the reason we're going to, normally you'd have made a selection, but this works in a slightly different way from the other tools, and I'm just going to use it initially just to show you the basic principles of how this works. So I haven't made any selections yet, but you can just use it as a selection tool if you wish. So we have a weird looking brush here with a plus sign in the middle. If you hold the I made a selection, but I will make a, let's just make a selection, and immediately I make a selection, you'll see that it gives me a mask. So anything that you're selecting is clear, and anything you don't want selected is hidden. Okay, that size of brush, if you can be changed down the bottom. You've got size, so if it's very big you can make it smaller, and you can utilize your brackets for doing this as well. The right hand bracket makes it bigger, the left hand bracket makes it smaller, so you can change the size of the brush. If you hold the Alt key down, you get the opposite option of adding, you get the option of hiding. So you can hide selections as well as see the selection effectively. So you can make a selection using this brush if you wanted to. You can do, normally it's for refining a selection that you've already made. So there are options down here, snap to strength and selection edge, which improve the quality of the selection that you're making and the edges around the selection you're making, how strong they are, and making sure that the edges are clean, okay, and sharp. So snapping to strength and selection edge you can use in combination. As I change the size, you'll notice that selection edge is also changing automatically. Okay, but if I make a particular size, I can actually change the selection edge independently as well, and this will have an impact on the size of the brush you're using and how it relates to the edge of your selection, how clean it is, and how well it will work. I mean, it's the sort of thing which you have to kind of practice using and working with to get a full understanding how this works. It's actually quite a good tool if you're going to be using on hair, actually, as I'll show in one of my tutorials. We've got a way of viewing this information. At the moment I've got a red mask. You can actually change the colour of the mask by going down to the red box at the bottom here, and you can change it to a green mask or a yellow mask or dark blue mask or whatever sort of colour you want. So red isn't your preferred colour, you can change it, but red is traditional. And you can change the opacity of the red, make it darker or lighter, to make it easier to see and see what you're masking out. And you've also got other ways of viewing the same information. You can do it on black, so what you can see is what you're showing, and anything that you can't see is being hidden, basically. So this the mask is the black bit. If you want to add to the mask, hold down the Alt key and you can add to the mask. Let go of the Alt key and you're back to the plus sign, so you can, if you can, take away from the mask or add to your selection, whichever way you want to read it really. This is adding to my selection. Holding the Alt key down, I'm taking away from my selection. Okay, so it just depends how you want to read this sort of data that you're looking at. It is meant to be for refining an edge, as I've said, so there is no output, unlike the other selection tools which have an output option to output to a separate layer or output to a mask, anything like that. That's not here because the the view is you will end up going back to your previous selection and output accordingly through some other process, refine edge, and output from there. So using this tool is really after you've made other selections. Okay, you've used another selection option, and this is refining it and cleaning it up and being more precise. Okay, but just the main thing is just get used to using it, and that's why I'm just giving an overview of how it kind of works without using it as refine edge in this particular little tutorial. Just very quickly introduce it to you, that it is a refine selection brush tool, not an end in itself usually. Okay, so have a go, play around with the different options and just see what the effects are. It may be worth doing a selection and then using it, and you'll get another way of using it as well and seeing how it works with the picture. But in the first instance, I would just use it as it is, a straightforward brush, just so that you get an understanding of the selection and how it's working. Okay, I will leave you with it and move on. Okay, thank you for watching.